to be or not to be a completionist, one who collects all of a label, or even for myself, one person who has that almost terrifying fear of getting a series of movies with numbers on them. Those little printed numbers on the side of a disc can be most lethal for a collector like me. I know I have issues, but when I see that, I love to have them all in order. I love to see that numerical factor just there in front of me, and it's just lovely to look at. But most importantly, I'm a film fan. I love films. There is several collections that I have that are numbered. Now, I've not completed any of them. There are some that I'm very close to, and I hope to get there eventually. But is it necessary? Are these a marketing tool used by these boutique labels to really hammer home that you should have all of these? These aren't just individual movies. These are part of a collection. You must collect them all. I do like certain aspects of the numbered faction, but there's other factors that just push me off a little bit about it. Now, you look at some of the numbered collections you can get. There's the Masters of Cinema, there's Signal 1, there is Criterion, there is 88 Films that embraced it with their Vault, Asia, Slasher, Italian collections, and I'm sure there's others I'm probably forgetting, HMV Premium Range. These things are all numbered. They're all designed to look uniformly gorgeous on a shelf that's marketed in such a way. Indicator is a big one as well, with their rainbow colours at the bottom that just look oh so pretty when they're all lined up. But is it necessary to buy them all? That's a question I've been struggling with for a little while. I know I have a kind of mental issue. Sometimes you can stand back and look at yourself and realise what you're doing is a little bit crazy, but you accept it as just a quirk that you have, hopefully, and it doesn't cause you too much problems. But in my recent video, I talked about space, issues that I had with space, and this completionism that I have in my head is an added quirk to that. Masters of Cinema is one of the series that I'm most close to completing. I'm missing about 15 titles. Would love to get them when the finances are better, but I'm in no rush to get there. I'm buying all their new releases and enjoying the heck out of them, but I want that full series. I love the Masters of Cinema series. I've not found a movie there that I haven't enjoyed, so it feels worthwhile in picking up all these titles. Another range that I've really liked, Indicator, is one where I'm starting to discover some issues. Now, I've bought the bulk of their movies. I'm missing about 20 to 25 titles. And recently I've been delving into their collection. Now, I've watched 100 discs from Indicator. And within those 100 discs, I'd say there's been about 5 that I know I'm never going to go back to. 5 movies that I just didn't like. But what do you do? What do you do if you're a completionist? What do you do if you have those lovely rows of little numbers in the colour-coded sequence that Indicator have when you have titles you don't like? Do you get rid of them? Do you sell them? Do you take away from having that completionist range? Do you curate your movies into a more concentrated, this is what I like? Or are you stuck looking at these little numbers, locked into a kind of prison and systematic removal of money from your wallet because you need to have all those little numbers? It's one of those weird ones that I look at, and I was planning on becoming a up-to-date sort of completionist on Indicator, buying their titles every month because mostly I love them. But then we kind of hit I think it's April's releases, which had 4 titles, 3 of which I wasn't that interested in. 2 of them I'd seen before and I kind of liked them, but I'm in no rush to go back to. And you start to think, will I buy that? Will I not? I chose not to, but in my head I know when it gets to a sale price I'll pick these titles up eventually. It's that little quirk, that little niggle in the back of my head that tells me that, you know, there's something not quite right there with this compulsion, and have the boutique labels got this correct by marketing it that way? But there's other things you can be completionist on as well. Take Second Sight, for instance. Their limited editions are wonderful, and I could easily see myself falling down the rabbit hole of picking up all those titles, but they aren't numbered, so there is some titles that I've happily let go. A little bit miffed that I've missed out on some titles, but ones that I knew I would never really go back to, which is what I should really be doing with some of the other ranges that I have. So what I want to know from you guys is, are you a completionist? Do you have any ranges of movies or companies where you want to collect the majority of their movies? Looking at the broad ranges that are released within these companies, there is very strong possibilities that are going to be movies that you don't like. I know I've not hit any in the Masters of Cinema series as yet, but that's in the post. I'm going to stumble across a movie or two that I just hate. It's going to happen. But I know I won't remove it from that collection. I know it will sit there. And that feels like an issue, but one that I'm willing to tolerate. And whereas I'm struggling for space, I have these quirks or issues where I'm just not willing to waver on them at all. Seems like a strange problem to have. But you know what? I do like looking at the collections, and having those little numbers all in a row is really satisfying to me. So just let me know in the comment box your thoughts on this, and also, is it just a wonderful marketing ploy? Probably. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.